my back. Man. So today is 8/28/23, and I am a hurting unit today. It was so interesting. I first off, there we go. I need to fix that. I'm so glad I did this. Okay. So now I'm not echoing anymore if anyone's listening. Anyway, so first off, I knew that the place I was gonna have to go clean today was gonna be a lot. Like I knew that they were using drugs and things, right? But like it didn't, like it didn't absorb in my mind that there's fentanyl out there and that shit's deadly as hell, right? I didn't think about that. So I mean, I was using meth, right? And meth, I mean, I don't know if meth absorbed through skin or not. I don't know. You have to be cautious. And I mean, I knew it was going to be a chore. I got that. And so I knew I was going to have to be careful and cautious and totally clean. And I mean, I knew it was going to take a lot of time, but I get there, and what's happening? What's happening? Why is my camera not working? What's going on? Anyway, I get there, and let me see if this is right. Sorry, I'm not always good at this anyway, and it was a day. Anyway, so I get there, and I see the car leaving that the people drive because I've seen them. I've been cleaning across the street from them, and then I cleaned the house below them, and I couldn't get into the washer and dryer because they had been using it like all the time, right? And so I get there and I know what car they're driving and I see the car leaving. So I'm like, cool. So I go into the laundry room and I'm trying to start the washing machine and I can't get it to start. And I'm like, what the? Well, no. I did what I always do. I put my stuff in and I turned it on and it said sensing, right? Which is what it does. And then I left. That's what it does. It turns on and says sensing and you leave. And when you come back, it's done, right? So I put all my stuff in and it said sensing and her stuff was in the dryer. So I'm like, shit, they left stuff behind. So I put it in a bag and I put the stuff that I had from yesterday into the dryer. Gosh darn it. And anyway, and so I put this because yesterday I had to clean the house below theirs, which shares the dryer and washer. And so when I went to try to do laundry, I couldn't do it. So I was like, well, fine. I was cleaning. I just got some stuff done, and so I had some stuff that I needed to dry and stuff I needed to wash. So I started the washer, took their stuff out of the dryer, put my stuff in the dryer, walked up the stairs, the door's open. I'm like, oh, they left the door open, whatever. I go walking in, I've got my, like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm going up there to tear the sheets off and stuff. I've got gloves on my hands and everything because the neighbors would warn me. They're like, they've been using drugs. There's fentanyl. They've been strung out for 2 weeks. There's been, people coming and going. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. So I'm all prepared with my gloves and my mask on. And I come in there. I go into the bedroom and she's fucking standing there with her eyes are huge, just looking at me. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. And she's just like, oh, I'm just cleaning, you can come in and clean with me if you want. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good, but you need to get out. I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, it was the most, I knew what I was walking into, but I saw them leave and I didn't look to see if they were both in the vehicle. I mean, he drove by. I saw the driver's side drive by me and he waved and I waved because I talked to them about their dog that they said they didn't have. And I'm like, they're like, it's just a puppy. I'm like, yeah, puppy is still a dog. Just so you know, they grow up to be dogs, right? So, but they said that earlier, like a couple days before when I had seen them, and so, but I didn't realize and it's to me, I don't give a shit what you believe in. If you want to believe in Satan, or you want to believe in God, or you want to believe in Buddha, or you want to believe in the leaves and trees and flowers and whatever you want to believe. If you want to believe in toenails, I do not care what you believe in. But I think if it's controversial, well, I honestly, what my car says is search. That's it, search, right? Like, I don't, for me, I think that putting those things out there sometimes can be very controversial. And there's had the fish with Jesus, there's said Satan. And I'm like, okay, this is how this is gonna be. So, which again, I don't judge that. What I judge is that people that put something that blatant on their vehicle are clearly going to be controversial and combative, right? Because that is something to me that I feel makes people look like people look at me all the well, I'm gonna get there. But anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, this is so I see her and I'm like, oh fuck, so I'm like, well, you gotta go because I gotta come in and clean. And so she's like, I'll be out in 5 minutes. So I went and parked, and I parked some more, and I parked like where some other neighbors were freaked out because they're like, oh my God, I could see they left and then they came back. And then the husband kind of looked at me and he rolled down his window and I'm like, I'm here to clean the unit up the street. I know that there has been things in there, and he's like, well, now we all know. And I'm like, well, I don't know what he meant by that. If it was because, or I don't think, I think that people didn't realize the extent of what was going on. But the gentleman who lived right next door made sure I knew. And I'm sure he talks to the neighbors. You know what I mean? I mean, he knew what was happening, and he told me that he had already called the sheriffs and did it. So I mean, I'm sure that And so I was just like, yeah, well, glad we all know, and there were other people renting below, and she, of course, had to be. She was so funny. It was great though. She was a drug and alcohol counselor, so she warned me. She's like, you really need to mask up and wear gloves and be very, very careful up there because there was fentanyl up there. And I'm like, oh, I never actually researched it yet. I don't know. I mean, I know that very small amounts of it are very, very dangerous, and I should know these things, right? But I didn't expect to walk into that. It was funny. Anyway, so I went and bought gloves and a mask, and I started in the kitchen kinda, and then I was like, Jesus Christ, the fucking dishes and the grease and the stove, and it was bad. It was bad, and I was just like, I'm just gonna save this for last. I want to focus on making sure that everything looks really good, and then I can just scrub the dishes down and make a mess right here, which is what I did. There was water and disinfectant and shit everywhere. It's just like but it was a small place, but it was interesting to me because I didn't mind the work at all. I didn't mind going in and cleaning it at all. Like I understand that somebody's got to do it right, and it's fine. I did. I mean, I found some things, and I was just like, "Fuck!" I'm like, So we had to buy some new things and bring them in because it just you have to make sure it's safe, right? But it's like seeing that. Like I have been there, not there, not that there. I've been, I don't know, could have been, I mean, one thing though, when I was strung out, I cleaned, man. My house never would have looked like that. No fucking way. I was clean, and now my house is worse than it was when I was using, just because I don't have a lot of time. But when I was using, my house was like totally orderly and clean, right? And this was just what I walked into. First off, what I walked into and I saw, I was like, oh fuck, this is what I expected. But then I ran into her and I'm like, oh shit. So all of the stuff that was there, she wanted to take with her, right? But he left her there. He left her there. She's like, oh, he's coming back to get me. And then she says to me, so funny. She's standing there with her eyes the size of saucers looking at me, standing outside. She was outside and smoking a cigarette. And I was like, so you getting ready to go, right? And she was like, well, yeah. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go up this, when I leave here, I'm going to go up the street and I'm going to apply for a job at this place waiting tables. And I'm just like, sister, okay, first off, you have a backpack and a bedroll and 5 bags of groceries that you can barely, I wanted to help her carry them to the curb because she needed to get off the property, right? But I mean, you in this, it's like, how delusional do you have to be to think that you were going to walk in somewhere like that and get a job, right? I mean, I know, and that's, I think that the universe talks to me. I don't know. I don't fucking know what I believe anymore. I mean, I believe that sometimes. I knew you were going to do this to me. As soon as I started, like, anything. Oh, it's because I forgot to give them treats. Oh my god. Everybody must have a treat. Oh gosh, and I need to make more tomorrow. Oh my god. And you should see what I did in my yard when I got back from this. Holy. I am recording this for myself because I'm hoping someday that I look like I'm hoping I get past this place in my head where I'm the fear that I'm living in. Like I'm hoping that something will help me not feel the fear I'm feeling anymore. Because that's the driver of all the things. It's the fear I feel, right? I'm afraid. I'm like really afraid. Like, and I see that. Like I know I will never be that. But if it's a fear of mine to live amongst that to a level that they are like I don't want to judge anybody, but I pulled myself up so that I wasn't that, right? Like I worked so fucking hard so I wasn't that. And I still think that people look at me the same as they look at her, right? And it's like, uh, and that's okay in the equality of us all being humans. But people are judgmental, and they judge me to the harshness that they judge her, right? And it's like, no, no. Yes, we're equal, and yes, we are all humans, and yes, we are all people. But I do not deserve, if you're going to judge, do not judge me at that level because I was never that close. Well, I was pretty, well, it's close, but not to the grossness close. Like I was, like, I mean, looking at her, I was like, oh my God, I remember feeling that way. I remember being that strung out. You know what I mean? When you're like, yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm predictable. I mean, I'm already unpredictable, sober, and not strung out, but see, I've even started cleaning out my drawers and stuff because, well, first off, I need to get renters. But second off, I mean, like I'm looking at, like I'm realizing, especially after saying that today. Oh my God, it was just like a fucking mess. Not so much. I mean, they did leave me a mess. They did leave me a mess, but that I could. I'm an empath. I believe I'm an empath and I could feel or it's just the fact that I've lived that and so I knew how she felt and I knew where she was at and I knew that he had left her and she was trying to clean up and trying to do everything and trying to go get a job and it's like dude you fucking need to stop first. You need to quit first. You can't do these things and continue on this path. It won't work. And I'm there to clean, man. I'm like, you just need to go so I can clean. Because I got this shit got to be ready by 4 o'clock. It's just, away. Macy's coming here. You know, little ones. God, you. uh, okay, one more. Come on. Four. Okay, that's it. One more. I need more in the morning. I'm gonna have to make more tomorrow. And then what happens? I know I'm having a shot, and I shouldn't be drinking. I'm giving myself till October 1st quit again, and I'm like, yeah, you know what that means? It's like if you have to do that, it means you're addicted. And I'm like, yeah, really? I mean, what was your first clue? The 15 years that you spent. Although, here's the deal, right? Well, wait. I'm gonna go back to talking about the thing with the washer. So anyway, so I go up and she's there, and I'm freaked out, and I see this, and she's like, and I'm like, yeah. So I get back in my car, and I pull up the street, and I start texting my because I didn't want to be in the driveway if he came to pick her up, right? I didn't want to be in between him and her. So I pulled up the street just a little bit and parked, which freaked out the neighbors. But anyway, in case one, gee, I wonder why, And I'm sitting here like this, like, what's she doing? It's like texting my boss. Anyway, and I figured, well, but see, that's what see now. I had figured they had seen my car there, but it didn't occur to me that they didn't realize I was cleaning. That they probably just saw my car there and then didn't know that I wasn't up there with these people. But anyway, so again, I text my boss and I'm like, what the fuck? This woman's here and she's strung out as fucking shit. They're like, okay, well, just hang for a little bit and see if she leaves. And I'm like, okay, and I'm like, she's not leaving. So they called whoever made the reservation, said she needs to go, or we're calling the sheriff on her. And so they're like, well, she's a god. And they're like, no, she isn't a god. They're all thinking she left at 10:05. I'm just like, no, dude, she did not leave. She did not go anywhere. She is up there bouncing off the walls, strung out. I didn't say that, but my boss, because I told my boss that, my boss told them, and they said, no, she's up there fucking high as shit. You need to go get her. I'm like, thank you. Anyway, so then I go back and the washer has not done anything but been sent. It says sensing, and I'm like, oh, so she broke the washing machine because when I like first off they were using it. So every time I went there, there was like a couple times before when I went, and it was always in use, right? And then when I got there, there was a light that shouldn't have been on that was on, but there was nothing in it. So I'm like, okay. And then the other renters were like, oh yeah, she was in the laundry room for like 2 hours last night with a vacuum cleaner running. Okay. So, because I know when I used to be strung out, I used to take shit apart. I was like, I need to rebuild this phone. Although one time I got somebody took all the phones away. Well, one phone, the phone in my room, because the phone in his room didn't work in the phone in my room in my phone jack. But I rewired my phone jack and I made it work. So that didn't go over well. But anyway, so those are the things I did, right? But I still cleaned. I kept my house clean. I was not filthy. Anyway. So that happened. So then my boss gets there. She's like, well, I'm gonna bring you everything you need to redo all the linen. Just get all the linen out of there, clean from top to bottom. And I did. I put on gloves and a mask, and I started from the top and just went down all around the whole place, and just cleaned it. Right. I mean, made sure that it was sanitized because you don't know where shit's gonna spray. I mean, it's like I found like there was tape on the back of one chair. You could tell the chair where they were sitting shooting up because there was tape. Uh, I don't know. Did they use tape? Oh, they something. There was tape along the back of it, and you could tell where there had been tape. And I'm like, I don't know what they were doing because I that was one thing I didn't do. I didn't shoot up. I mean, I knew people that did. I dated people that did. Lived with people that did. But for some reason, they never would bring me along. Probably because they knew I'd be like, ah! Anyway, and I'm glad of that. I'm glad of that. I mean, whenever they talked about shooting up, I never really wanted to go, but I was never invited. So it didn't really matter either way, right? Because it was a special thing that I wasn't included in. Damn, my luck, right? Damn it. See, now maybe had I gone down that path, maybe had they invited me, maybe because I get ostracized and not invited to a lot of things, and I'm alone a lot. And sit in my driveway. I told this whole story in my driveway to my dogs earlier because I just need to talk sometimes, right? Because it was a trigger day, right? Anyway, you know, and I know, and that's the thing. I mean, I know that if you don't know me, you can look at me and think that, of course, they would like. I shouldn't say, of course, people would think I'm strung out, but they do. They just think I'm strung out because of the way I act. Right? I act this way because when I'm happy, it's because I'm happy, right? It's not because I'm strung out on drugs, although after seeing her, I understand why they think that. But my eyes don't look like that. My eyes don't look like that. I was like, who fuck? I mean, it freaked me the fuck out. I'm just like, I told my boss, I said, she's unpredictable. I don't know what to do here. And I'm like, I'll give it a minute. But I went back in and was calm with her. It's just like, you really need to go. I really need to get this place clean for the next people. And she was like, okay, 5 more minutes. And a half hour later, she finally did leave. So, but it was just, uh, it was crazy. So anyway, so my boss comes in, so I'm scrubbing and cleaning and doing this and sweating like a pig. I had a headband on, and you can tell by my hair, right? It was just and a mask and gloves, and that was about it. The rest of me was in what I wear, But anyway, so my boss comes. And she's like, and she said to me, any luck with the washer? And I'm like, because I text her, I said, I can't get the washer to work. I unplugged it, plugged it back in. I put it on different settings. Of course, she put it on rinse and spin, and that worked. I'm like, oh, is that the one? Although I'd only gone through a couple of them when I said to her, let me try again. And she said, no, just forget it. And I said, okay, well, she came and got it fixed. But it's like at that point, I mean, I had washing the bedding is the last thing I needed to be doing, right? There was a lot more that needed to be done. It was inconvenient for her to bring me that bedding, but I don't know because I had like all the towels, everything, because I could tell she had washed the towels. She was trying her best to clean what she could, right? Because of the way they were folded. So I'm like, well, she touched them. She touched them. And she said, get rid of anything they touched. And I'm like, well, she's touched all the towels. And they touched all the bedding. And they touched all the pillows. And they touched this rug. And what do we get rid of here? you know? So I went through as far as like the things that we could. Everything else just got sprayed with disinfectant. We cleaned it really good. And I'm sure it's fine, obviously. There's you go through procedures and that's what you do, but it was a trip. I was just like, holy, I didn't like, I did not expect that. I knew it was going to be something that I walked into, but I did not expect her to be there. The rest of it I could deal with, but her, I was just like, fuck, why, man? Because I would have had 2 extra hours had she just fucking left, right? I mean, so I had to get it all done in less time, which means I really had to bust my ass. Which, again, whatever, I got it done. I mean, then I looked down, I'm just getting ready to leave. And I look down below me, down in the common area where there's like a barbecue and stuff, and I see this big spill of something and these mixings for s'mores, I guess, and just a bunch of, just the table was a mess. And so I asked the other renters, I said, is that s'more stuff yours? And she's like, yeah, no. I'll clean it up though when you leave. And I'm like, no, you won't. I got it. So I went down there and cleaned it all out, sprayed it off, but I'm just like, oh my God. I was just like, wow, okay. So I'm not that, right? I'm not that. I'm not judging that for being that, but I'm grateful that I'm not that. What? Are you yelling at me for? Like, I don't need you yelling at me. And why? So you can take that from her? Because you just said, no, no, you aren't doing that though. Here, it's yours. You were chewing on it. You can have it. Yeah. Anyway. But anyway, so I got I've only got this job for another month, and I'm only going to probably be going to Reed Sport a couple more times, but which I'm kind of bummed about because I do like the job a lot. But they just, if they hired me temporarily for the summer, and I knew that, and I don't make a lot of friends where I go because I tend to speak my mind, which is not good. I don't mean it to be a bad thing, but I say what I'm feeling at the moment, and sometimes I don't never mean to cause harm. I never mean to be mean. It just doesn't always come out well. Because I mean, I love words. When I'm typing and writing, I love words. Fucking love words. I realized that today on my drive there. I was like, I love words so much. Like I love using words like I am not stagnant, or even I have. I love this one. I have tinnitus. Oh, it's funny. No, but I have tinnitus, and the word is tinnitus. Hey, that word, tinnitus. It sounds so nice for such a bad ailment. Anyway, so I just really like words. But I forgot what I was saying now because she's down here just fucking doing this because I knew she would. What temperance do you need? Like I played with you. We were outside playing. I know you need more because you were gone all day. I was so alone, so alone. I was all by myself. There was no other dogs. I was stuck in this little cage. Look at this. I was able to go outside in the yard. I cleaned my yard yesterday. And then I get home. I get home today, and out front where there's a bunch of like um, blackberry bushes. I climbed over this fence, got in there and cut a bunch of them down. Of course, I'm out my yard going, and you will die. My neighbors are like, okay, what's going on? I'm all, I need a night. What's the word? Oh, I can't think. I'm tired. Anyway, so I was out talking to my bushes, and I wanted to do turtles, but I'm really tired. But I had to talk about the day because it was just so then. So then I'm like, okay, I get it all done, and I get the beds made, and I realize there's sheets up above, so I could have used them, but there's no fucking way I was going to use that comforter. There's no way I was going to use that comforter, right? I mean, if I couldn't wash it, which I could have had I figured it out, I could have done that, but I was out of there at 4:03 as it was, right? Like I didn't have the time to do laundry on top of dealing with all of that. I just didn't. So, because people come in at 4 usually, and I'm 4:03, like going, pushing it here. So, but anyway, so then on my way home, I bought a thing for my car. I was going to talk about this, and then Temperance distracted me, but I bought a thing for my car for my dashboard because when I'm driving back and forth, like I said, I'm not going to have this job very long. I don't think, I don't know, maybe today will change that. I doubt it. It doesn't matter how hard I work. You have to, people have to like you. And I mean, I don't think people dislike me. I think they just feel uncomfortable around me because they don't know how to take me, right? Because I'm different. Well, we're all different. I don't know. I act like a druggie when I'm not. What can I say? I don't fucking know. Anyway, so I'm driving home. I'm gonna get a car thing because when I'm driving to there and from here, it just, oh my god, it blows me the fuck away. There, it is one lane, and then there's where you can pass, but you can never like there's typically the way I do, I follow, if I'm going 60 miles an hour, I follow six cars behind, right? So I'm still going a steady 60 if the car in front of me is going 60. If they're going higher than that, I don't, whatever, past, I mean, I get that, but I don't go fast than that, but I typically am going as fast as the car in front of me. It's just that I use it because I think that in school I learned that you need to be a car length for every 5 miles or 10 miles. But anyway, so I stay, a nice distance behind because you don't know, especially if it's a big, like something carrying a boat. If something hits them and that boat starts moving around, you want to be able to fucking stop safely, right? And not have to worry about. Anyway, so I have this car in my, and it happens all the time. I have these cars right on my ass, and I'm like, so you think that we're gonna go any faster than the line of five cars in front of us? We're not. I'm just back a nice distance and you're on my ass, right? And it makes me laugh because I'm just like, I know that like we'll get to the passing, they'll zoom past me and zoom up to where they're just in front of me because that's as far as they can go on that pass, right? And I'm like, and now you're one car in front of me. Or not even that. Now you're in front of me instead of behind me, going the same speed as I was going, just now you're riding that person's ass instead of my ass, right? I mean, you got nowhere. So I'm watching this on the way home after this whole day of the drug thing and cleaning it up and just, I don't know, it was interesting in my mind, right? Because I know where I was and where I could have been and how I easily could have been that person, right? Maybe I could have gotten to the point where my dishes were gross like that too. I could have. I could have easily gotten to the point where I quit giving a shit too, right? But I didn't. I stopped before that. So anyway, so I've had this whole day, and so this car is doing this, and I'm just laughing. I'm laughing my ass off. So then I had seen in my rearview mirror that car was riding my ass and there was another car riding his ass. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing I'm a respectful distance from them up there, but you guys are going to hit my ass if anything happens, right? And so I'm a little annoyed because I'm like, although I could stop in time enough that I did. That's the thing. This time it showed me because all of a sudden, for some reason, well, there was a sign that flashed and it said that they were painting the sign. It said slower traffic painting lines, no crossing or some shit like that, and it was like we're going 60 when we see those flashing. And so it didn't absorb, and I'm thinking, what are they talking about? Then I saw, of course, a respectful distance in front of me, tail lights. So I start slowing down. Of course, the cars behind me are getting closer to me, and I'm like, no, tail lights. Look at the 5 cars up there. There's tail lights, dudes. It's not just me. And so we get to where we're going. I'm just like, it's funny. I don't think people look at the traffic, like all of the traffic in front of us. They look at the car in front of them, and if that's going slow, then fuck you. I'm going to be on your ass. And it's like, there's 20 other cars in front of me going the same speed. You aren't getting anywhere. We're not getting it. This is how fast we're going, all of us collectively, right? And so we slowed way down. And it was like this red car was on my tail the whole time. And we were going, well, at this point it didn't matter because we were going like 2 to 5 miles an hour. I mean, we were going slow, right? Well, not 2 to 5, maybe 20, 25. Let me rephrase. Anyway, so we're going slow, and and I'm like, well, this is cool. I mean, there's a forest around us, and I'm listening to music, and so I roll down my windows, and I'm like singing, and I could just see the face on the person behind me was like so angry, right? And I'm just like, and on my tail, and I'm like, okay, so you're pissed at me because there's 25 cars in front of us going 25 miles an hour, and that's I mean, obviously they weren't angry at me. They were angry at the fact that we were going slow, but being on my ass is not going to make us go any faster, right? And I mean, even at 25 miles an hour, you need to be a respectful distance. You don't ride people's tail because, especially, I mean, there's wildlife, there's all kinds of things that can happen. You just don't do that. It's not respectful, right? And that's my thing. There's so much disrespect anymore. I just can't even fucking breathe sometimes. I hate it. It was so funny that. So then we're going along, right? We're driving slow, and I'm looking at the angry face, and I'm singing, thinking, man, you could be singing too. Like, let's all just fucking sing in our cars while we're going slow, right? I mean, we're all stuck here going slow together. There's no point in being angry about it, right? And so that stops. We get to where we're going again. The speed limit is 55. We were going 60. So the car in front of me was going 60, but again, they were a respectful distance. I was going 60, then I have the 2 cars riding my ass behind me. So we get to a place where they can pass. So the person, it was a red car. So the person in the red car passes me, gets right in front of me. Because that's as far as they could go. Because the passing lanes are not that long, right? And so I'm like, and there's, 10 other car. I mean, there's a bunch of us going the same speed, but I'm the only one that actually stays as well. No, there's other people that stay as far away as me, just not as many as there are that are right up on you. But anyway, so that person's right in front of me. So I'm just laughing, and I'm like, well, because I know I've driven this road enough to know that you're gonna get nowhere, and there's really no point in this. Because at the end of well, I'll finish the story. So so then we get to another passing lane, which is even shorter, and it's on a curve by a lake, and I'm just like, fuck, this dude's gonna try to pass, and he can pass me, but that's as far as they're gonna get. They're not gonna get past the red car or the gold car or the truck or the boat pulling or the truck pulling the boat or the RV. They're not going to get past all of them. There's no way. So I'm like, why are they even trying? And they do this, and I literally have to put on my brakes so that they don't hit me because they don't have and it's like, okay, they get past you. So I got the red car and the white car. So we get to where I'm like, and I know this happens because I know this road because I drive it a lot. It gets to 45 and we get to a bridge where there can be a stoplight, and we're all at the stoplight, and there's the red car and the white car and me and all the other people. And I'm like, yep. And so we get all the way, and I just laughed the whole way. I'm like, actually, I think that, let me rephrase that. The red car did get a couple, like at the passing lane where the white car got in front of me, the red car got in front of a couple more vehicles. So we did get up a little bit further. But then over the bridge, by the time we got into town and over the bridge and it kind of splits off, then I was right behind them. And I'm just like, all of that, where you were just like on my tail and needing to get right there. And here we are. Now I'm behind you in town because you were in, I mean, it happens a lot on that road, but I'm like, and quit yelling at me. Or is he yelling at you? why can't you guys just, chill? I'm gonna cook food in a minute. I just need to tell my story because it's funny. I got no one to listen, and it was just weird. I mean, the whole day, because I'm sitting there watching these people be stupid while they're driving and be so impatient that they need to get somewhere where they don't. And it's like you're pushing and getting nowhere. Just fucking relax and go. Yeah, see. Just relax and go for the ride, baby. Anyway, quit. Anyway, but it was so funny when I got into town in that car. I was like, I just looked and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I was laughing. I hope they looked in their rearview mirror and saw me laughing at them. Because I'm just like, see, you did all this pushing so you could get in the front of the line. And here I am, right behind you now. Because you, it's just funny. And I see that happen a lot, especially with driving. Like if you on some roads you can get away and get further, but for the most part you just drive with the flow and fucking stop being that way. Because all it does is it could just cause problems for people. It could just cause accidents, especially like the other day I had this. Oh my god! See, this is why I bought a thing to put on my dashboard so I can record it because I want to upload stuff when this happens. Because the other day, this guy in a big truck and a big boat did the same thing, almost pushed me off the damn road. Like I literally had to slow down to like 35 miles because he was trying so hard to get in front of me, right? Just before the lanes merged. I mean, he was trying. He got in front of me, we got to town, and there I was, right behind him. I'm like, you fucking got that far in front of me, and you almost like ran me off the road. What the fuck's wrong with people? It's like everybody's in such a hurry to get nowhere. I just kind of like my um sidewalk to nowhere in the backyard, right? Words. Mm. Anyway, so my back hurts today. I hurt today. Thankfully, tomorrow I don't have to work there. I'll tell you what though. When I came home and realized that I didn't have to go to UPS, I'm like, thank God. I couldn't even imagine having to go there after this day or ever again. I thought about this. Like, I know that maybe what happened to me, because I know that I've got mental illness. I know that I've got a certain amount of paranoia. I'm sure that I think sometimes that people don't like me who actually do. Just because the majority of my life, even the people that acted like they liked me never had my back. Like, they'd be like, oh yeah, you're my friend. And as soon as somebody else came along or said something negative about me, they didn't stand up for me. They didn't back me. They didn't, like, choose me over the other person, right? I don't think ever. So, it's like, you know, even when someone acts like they like you, it's hard to actually believe that they really do unless like, words don't mean shit, right? Words mean nothing to me, really. Even though I love words, they just don't mean much from people anymore. But I don't know. I forgot what I was talking about now. Now I'm just tired. I need to eat. I wanted to sculpt, but I'm really tired. And I'm gonna go get a tattoo tomorrow. I was kind of upset because I'm copying these bags. I'm sorry, this is annoying. I was kind of upset because the person that gave my son his tattoo, I tried to make an appointment. They didn't respond, and they didn't respond, and I'm getting a little frustrated. I actually yelled at my son about it. I'm like, what's with it? People not fucking responding, I'm tired of that. Least you could do is fucking say something. You just don't blow people off that unless they're not important, And so I told him, I said, well, yeah, tried to get a hold of them for a tattoo, but I guess my money is not good enough, And he's like, ooh. So he said something, and then they got me in, but I wanted to be petty and be like, nope, not gonna come in now, gonna find some other, thing to do, but I decided that I didn't want to be petty. But I hope this works. Like, okay, there we go. I guess that perk is so pretty. I hope it'll work, because it's been in the box. My light went out. I'm not wiring shit. I gotta plug in one. Even though because I thought about this the other day, I probably shouldn't even say this, but I thought about it the other day when I was leaving here, and I got like, I had to go to a certain place before work, and I got like halfway there, and then I was like, shit, did I leave the coffee pot plugged in? I'm like, damn it. I don't, because usually I have to go through and I have to be like, say the date, and I have to like this is off, 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 and it's I've lost a lot of things in my life, so I know that that's not rational, but that's just what I do, right? When I didn't do it with the coffee pot that day, and I'm like, I don't remember doing that. Usually I'll say, and the coffee pot's unplugged, and I don't remember saying that. So I left and came back, and sure enough, the coffee pot wasn't unplugged. But I forgot why I was talking about that too, because I'm super tired. It's been a long ass day. Of course, I always forget anyway. Okay, so I'm hoping this works okay. What does it say? I bought one a year ago and it lasted a year, so I was happy about that. So then I go to buy another one and it's like, oh, we don't have anything like what you want to get. And so, of course, Amazon, I bitch about it all the time. I don't like shopping there. I didn't want to have to do this, but thankfully I had credit on there, which I didn't realize I had. So this light only cost me $4. So hopefully it'll work. Because typically when that happens, your shit doesn't fucking work. Or it'll work for like 3 weeks and then not work again. But anyway, because Amazon sucks. Because Jeff Bezos needs to go to fucking space. And I don't know, walk around in his tight ass pants with his side brunette, big boob girls. Girl. I think it's only one, right? He's got a wife. Anyway, I'm tired. So I think that was the end of my story. I think that's how it ended. It was just a bizarre fucking day. Well, kinda. Then I came home and had to play with the dogs, and I decided to clean some weeds out of the yard, which I talked about. Was in there. Oh my god, my dogs. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Alright. I wanted to sculpt, but I'm so tired. Look at this one though. Isn't it cute? I need to put a shell on this one. Look at how small. Look at how small. And my hand small for the sculpture. I'm excited. The face is really good. Well, I mean, who am I? But look at the face. It's not painted though. I like it though. I realized the other day though, which one was it? Which one was it? I did one. Which one was it? Where are you? Wait, is it you? This one. I was making this one and I forgot to give it nostrils. So I got them carved in there, which is fine because they're organic creatures, so shit happens, right? So it's the fact that the nostrils are like organic looking is fine, but I was looking at it going, why does this look so weird? It looks really weird. I couldn't figure it out because it didn't have nostrils. But anyway, this one is going on the sculpture with the baby one. I need to put another one. I'm painting on this one. I've been painting on it because I like painting a lot of layers and coats. Because depth. I love this one though. Wee! I'm whining. I love it. Look at it. It's like I'm going somewhere. See? So it's gonna be fun. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna take two down to my son's store tomorrow. See if they sell. I could use to sell a couple because I'm gonna get a tattoo that I can't afford. Whatever. I mean, they finally contacted me, and I don't want to be petty, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. Plus, I want a mermaid. Uh-oh, I got stickery bushes. My my son has a mermaid right here that I really like, and so I want to get that there. Maybe here. Nah, I don't want it there. Maybe. I don't know. Probably here. Anyway, I need to cook hamburgers and go to sleep because I'm tired. I have to. I cleaned the backyard yesterday, and I got some of the done in front today. I gotta get more in the front done tomorrow on the side because I have to have everything out on the curb before the first, so that they come and pick up the shrubs or not the shrubs, but the whatever it is, the stuff that you cut off the shrubs. What's it called? The brush. I don't know. Anyway, I have to have it out by the first. And I decided to quit feeling sorry for myself and start just doing stuff. I mean, even it it makes sense anyway, because even if it gets to the point where I have to sell this house, I gotta get that shit done. So I might as well just do it while I do have this job, even though I might only have it, well, I probably only have it for another month. I'm gonna need to be looking for another job. It bums me out because I really like this job. I really like this job. Even today, like it didn't. The, the situation didn't bother me. What bothered me is they didn't leave. She needed to leave. It's like, dude, I know you're trying to clean up, but you just need to fucking go. Cause you, although she was packing up a lot of her stuff too. They left a lot behind though, a lot of food, and which is weird to me. I'm like, you're eating? I'm confused that you're cooking and eating. Like, who's eating when you're using that? Do you eat when you use it? Because I know with meth you don't. But fentanyl, maybe you do. I don't know. I know with meth I didn't eat, although they had been there 2 weeks, so I don't know. I mean, I ate once a day, toast and cream of wheat or grilled cheese sandwich. But I got there and there was eggs in a bowl with toast, and I'm like, and I could smell it cooking when I got there, which was worse. I was wondering who was cooking, and then I go up and there it is. I'm like, oh fuck, really? You were cooking when you knew? What? I don't know. I'm glad I didn't ever let myself get to that point. All right, I'm just doing this again. I don't know if it'll work now. Oh. I'm tired. Why? I'm trying to put that light up and it won't stay. I need to like screw it really, but I don't want to. I'm tired. I'm not chasing it though. I'm not dealing with screws right now. I'm too tired. I need scissors. I will take you. I will take you to Patio. Right. I will win the battle of the light tonight. With tape. Silver tape. Uh-oh. Everyone's like, what? Do something. Alright, let's do this. Odin, go, man. Walter, be quiet. You're like the bane of my fucking existence. The other dogs are getting having second fucking thing. She wants it fucking peeing everywhere. Okay, I'm doing this. sorry for that. I had to do this tonight. But something like that. Alright, I'm gonna go put the light on. That's what I'm doing. I'm tired. And then I'm gonna cook hamburgers. I don't think I'm gonna get any sculpting done though, because I'm pretty wiped out. It's been a really long day. Great. Okay, I'm gonna quit streaming here. Alright. I'm going out to put on my light, and then I'm gonna eat dinner and go to bed. So I'm stopping. I didn't really get anything done, well, or work-wise. But it's just my day. I wanted to share it with so I'll remember it maybe. Realize that I could have been that and I'm not. I don't know. Something. Anyway, alright, bye. Bye.